What's up, y'all? I am big chillin' tonight, drinking on some scotch, and planned on playing Demon Souls. But I feel like I have unfinished business in Bloodborne, so I'm going to try to put that to a close. I've been doing this playthrough focusing on the lore, but I've realized that it's something that I think I have more fun just doing on my own time, and I'm ready to kind of let myself free to go onto YouTube and watch all the lore videos that I can stand while I'm, got downtime at work and things like that. So I'm going to put that to the side, maybe come back to that in the future when I have a little more experience under my belt. And for the time being, I just want to get my platinum trophy. So that's the goal for the session tonight. Take out the DLC, what's left of it. Take out Gehrman. Get my platinum trophy. Have fun playing Bloodborne. It's not hard to do. Bloodborne's a great time. So that's my plan. I will say I have had a change of heart since the last chapter that I did, because I reread this key. And for whatever reason, I think just because of my kind of preconceived notion that everybody's terrible and evil in this game, that last sentence, but Adeline couldn't fathom her intentions, I was reading that with this dark connotation on it, like a dum 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 at the end of it, as if Maria's intentions had to be bad. She couldn't fathom her intentions because they were, evil. But I don't actually think that means that at all, or has to mean that. I think it may very well mean exactly what it says, that Maria hoped that she would find comfort out there, and Adeline just couldn't understand why she was being so kind to her. So this kind of idea was sparked from a conversation I had in the comments of the lecture hall chapter, or I'm sorry, the research hall chapter I did. So I appreciate that. I am glad that I think better of Maria now than I did. It's nice to have at least one or two characters in the game that, aren't complete dirtbags. So let's go kill this nice lady. I still may give a few thoughts on, there's little ideas I've had here and there, but overall, just going back to playing and enjoying just how awesome the combat and the world is in Bloodborne. This is going to be, everything from this point on is only the second time I've ever done any of it. So I'm very much looking forward to getting my revenge on Lawrence as well for killing me, I think 29 times the first time I fought him, which was in New Game Plus. But one thing at a time. Let's take out Maria here. At least attempt to. My own little pet theory right now is that Maria killed herself in the waking world and then was transported to this nightmare in this state. This is like a recreation of that. Obviously, could very well be wrong, and she may have been living here for a while and killed herself in this nightmare, or attempted to. But I like the idea better of her being in the waking world and then being transported here to kind of exist in this stasis of permanently dying to her self-inflicted wounds until we come along and interrupt her, forever death in this hellscape of the nightmare.
A corpse should be left well alone. Oh, I know very well how the secrets beckon so sweetly. Only an honest death will cure you now. Liberate you from your wild curiosity.
I forgot how quick she was. I used every single heal that I had there.
Very
Maybe
well,
taking on
Plat, mister.
Maria after a week or more of not playing Bloodborne was probably not a great idea, but
Farewell.
it went okay. I want to go talk to this fisherman, catch the next lamp, and then I'm going to head to Lawrence. This is still between the lumen wood outside and this astral clock here. A couple of my favorite set pieces in the entire game. I'll try to keep this very short, but I have two potential theories, or I have two theories that I've thought about with Maria. I have one that I like best, and then one that I think is more likely. The one I like best, and I enjoyed toying around with it, is that Maria, through the experiments and through being a part of the research hall experiments, and maybe specifically the Adeline revelation, became a great one herself. The game doesn't tell us this in any form or fashion. This was just kind of one of those ideas that I really liked running with. I thought it would be cool if she became a great one herself and was able to pass into like the dream world. And this was a symbolic representation of that, because in the nightmare here, Maria is guarding this astral clock, which functions, by a completely irrational way to lead us to a completely different area than what we see here. And if you look at this area from the ground, you see no sign of the fishing hamlet. It's in a different area. It looks to be above us when we're in Yarnum, the nightmare version of Yarnum, or the nightmare version of the Cathedral Ward, I should say. So, my thinking was that maybe Maria was a great one and was able to pass into a dream world. And she was kind of convinced by her compatriots to bring them into the world of the fishing hamlet, which was in the dream world in this interpretation of mine, which I think is probably all wrong. Again, it was fun to think about for a while. I was thinking that this fishing hamlet may have been in the dream world originally, that this wasn't just some area that was, a destination that was somewhere near Yarnum, or something like how Canehurst is, where you can see it from Yarnum. I was thinking maybe this was in a different plane of existence to begin with, and that they learned about Kos somehow, and I think it's probably tied to the Rom situation of Kos granting Rom eyes, or somehow, some way they learned about Kos, and then she had the ability to actually traverse into the dream world to pursue him. Now, that's what I wish was true. I think that would be a cool interpretation of everything that goes on here, and would make sense of this clock leading to nothing, and be the reason why her grave is, if that's her grave outside, right outside of the house at the dream, why her grave would lead to the nightmare, if she was kind of the one that brought them into the dream that became the nightmare in the first place. So I don't think there's probably anything to that, but I still like the idea. I kind of wish it was like that. I think what's more likely is that the fishing hamlet was just a place that they went to in search of Kos, because they did get word of him somehow, some way, or maybe even had like an encounter. I had crazy ideas about that maybe somehow Kos came into the dream world in the lake where Rom was somehow, and there was some interaction there. So many ideas that, with my limited knowledge, it's fun to run wild with different ideas. But again, I've decided I think it's best to probably just go ahead and get educated by people who know a lot more than I do. It was fun. It was really fun to kind of do it ignorantly, but I'm still going to do that on my own time.
Blasphemous murders, blood-crazed fiends, Atonement for the wretches. By the wrath of Mother Goss. Mercy for the poor wizened child. Mercy. Curse here, curse there. A bottomless curse. A bottomless sea. Source of all greatness. All things that be. Listen for the baneful chants. Weep with them as one weep.
Nice. I've never actually had this item, so I want to read it real quickly. Skull of a local from the violated fishing village. The inside of the skull is forcibly searched for eyes, as evidenced by innumerable scratches and indentations. No wonder the skull became stewed in curses. They who offer baneful chants weep with them as one in trance. So I had the whole theory that I also really liked about in the research hall, how instead of forcibly searching them for eyes, how they used hydrochloric acid, which is one of the main components in stomach acid and gastric acid, to fashion like a stomach of sorts made from some kind of leather bag around the heads of the patients, and like basically dissolve their heads into the brain goo. Oh, I forgot that I can't get rid of my broccoli head. But I don't know. The timeline, I mean, they clearly were forcibly searching all these people. I don't know if the timeline, I don't know if there's anything to that theory. I do think it's a fun one to speculate on what was actually going on in the research hall. But I think I want to take out Lawrence now. Hopefully. I really would love to just go absolutely slaughter him first try. I think I want to take off the head now, just because it kind of gets in the way, like, of the camera. Lawrence is a super interesting character because there's, from what I've seen, there's actually fairly little about him. I think most of the things that I could say, at least, would be, you kind of have to interpolate it from a lot of like really vague things. But it's interesting because he's a super central figure to a lot of the story. I mean, I feel like a lot of the things in this game, if not, you could almost say everything in the game, kind of kicked off, starting with Lawrence and his decisions to split from Willem. And it's kind of wild to me that there's not more explicit information about him. I've got a lot of ideas, but I think I'm just gonna hold off and learn some more, again, see what other people have to say, because anything I could say was going to be really, I guess, superficial. But I think it's very, very, very interesting how little explicit information we get about Lawrence. It all seems to come in kind of small fragments. For him to be such a central figure to the entire story of the game. Alright, I'm going to get in serious mode because I would love this to go by very quickly. I like to think that he's just trapped in this kind of state of agony, burning from the inside. It's literal, like, blood turned to fire or lava or whatever you want to say. Sitting here with this statue pouring out water that he's just dying to get one sip of until you wake him up. I think everybody's in this like state of hellish agony. And then I think that the presence of his skull gives him just a glimpse of his old humanity. And that's what this is. This is him slightly remembering who he used to be and then losing that immediately. That's what I'm talking about. Finally putting my overpowered damage and my high level runes to use there. Getting vengeance on my archenemy. To the fishing hamlet. To the Orphan of Kos, which I believe shares a spirit with Gehrman in the same way that the doll shares a spirit with Maria. I think because this is only the second time that I've been through the hamlet, and because most of my thoughts are still half formed. I'm still thinking about the hamlet and trying to get what I think really, I don't know how it all works, how the hamlet works. I know that I didn't even stop to look, but back there I know you can see down into what I'm assuming is the Hunter's Nightmare area of Yarnum and the Cathedral Ward. So it does seem there's kind of a layered it seems there's kind of a layered effect that the nightmare has. Maybe all the nightmares, but at least this nightmare, it seems that they're kind of stacked on top of each other, and I don't know what to make of that. I know the Snell girl falls down into that area when you're down there, which I guess kind of foreshadows maybe that you can see that area from up here. You're looking down on it, but there's still so much and so many possibilities of how this all could tie in together. That And you know what? I'm really wanting to explore this area again, but I don't think I'm going to do that now. I think I'm going to stick to my goal. I want my platinum trophy. So we're going speedrun mode, and I'm going to do this on my own time. I'm going to come back through here, explore again later, and get my blood letter. I even knew that was coming. Hang on, did I just get him killed?
Who are you? Who are you?
No.
The beast hired assassin. Please, listen, please. So,
Yep, now I can get my blood letter that I've created this character and built him specifically for. But I'm still not going to use it right now. I'm going to let the Chikage carry me out till the end. And as soon as I remember which way to go. I think I went back immediately in my first playthrough, so I've never done this. I've never seen Brador here. Pretty cool. I do have to at least make an attempt at the sharks, but I'm gonna try to get the this is terrible. Oh wow. That was fun. I enjoyed that thoroughly. This way. I have to at least try it. This is, I remember that last time, but I don't think I realized that the thing looks like it's running from the Winter Lantern. I was literally about to say, well, I'm not scared of these things anymore. I know how to deal with them. And then I failed miserably at dealing with them. So, they're clearly still in my head a little bit. Okay, let's do that again, but better this time. That thing just picked up my souls. Okay, I gotta mess with this a little bit. It's probably really dumb to do this. But I gotta know. I gotta know if you can get him off that. I'm saying no. I mean, maybe there is a way, but not easily anyway. Nothing clearly is. Nothing simple is working. I'm sure there is a method, but go. I felt real good about it. There was a split. There was a little bit there where I thought, got it. After the second one dropped down, I thought it was going to go really wrong. But then I had a moment of thinking, yeah, I'm going to pull it out. Unfortunately, not so. More scotch will do the trick. Yo, are we walking around in circles? I thought this dude was leaning against a wall or something. Why am I not seeing him? That's hilarious. That's really funny. He's better than I thought he would be at hide and go seek to be such a large creature. I'll take it. So yes, I think the Orphan of Kos is somehow kind of linked in spirit with Gehrman. I think Gehrman, and my idea is that Gehrman either killed Kos or at least took an umbilical cord from Kos. There's one of the 4 umbilical cords that I think it came from Kos. And I think in some twisted way he got intertwined in this nightmare with Kos because of that violation and became Gehrman. And I kind of had this thought floating around, and then that was confirmed to me after I saw like a little clip on Reddit that had this cry that Orphan of Kos does right here, side by side with Gehrman's cry in the dream. If you talk to him at certain times, he's like, I think he's like sleeping in the dream. And if you talk to him, he does a very similar, if not the exact same kind of cry. And then of course, just like when you kill Maria and you go back to the dream and you talk to the doll and she has extra dialogue where she says she feels like something changed in her. You know, you get the dialogue from her as well after killing the Orphan of Kos that Gehrman is sleeping peacefully for the first time. So it's clear that there's a connection there to me in the same way the doll and Maria, Gehrman and Orphan of Kos. So that's my thoughts. I think Gehrman, like I said, either killed Kos or at least robbed him of a baby and or an umbilical cord, whatever that is. Now, aside from all that, Orphan of Kos is probably my favorite fight in this game, and I just think it's insanely epic and intense, and I love smaller bosses but that give me the same kind of intimidation factor, intimidate me like a big boss does. That's what this thing did to me. It's like a humanoid sized boss that gives you all the same feelings. It gives me the same feelings as if I was facing down some enormous foe. That's what I liked about Orphan of Kos right off the bat, the first time I fought him.
Sweet child of Kos, returned to the ocean. A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea.
The collars on these chest
Accepting
pieces
of all that there is
can't handle this chin
and can be.
that my character's got. I love my chin clipping through everything on the cutscenes. And one of my big questions is, you know, what was Kos like? I want to know, or I want to think more about whether Great Ones are, you know, like transcendent beings within themselves, or if they're kind of empowered by these phantasms that we're told about. Or even kind of controlled by them. Like the parasites, like the Kos parasites. Is that something that came about after death, or were the Kos parasites kind of piloting Kos the whole time? And then the fishing hamlet just became kind of centered around those, you know, those parasites or those phantasms that came from Kos once she was dead here. I don't know. It's all really fun to speculate on, and I don't know if there's an answer, but things I'm looking forward to learning about. Okay, very quickly, before I take on Gehrman and finish this up. I'm sure everybody knows about the eyes inside the doll, but I thought maybe some people didn't know that you could also find those same eyes here in the doll in the old abandoned workshop. So I don't think personally that there's anything crazy important about the eyes in the doll, because you do find them there on the model of the doll that's not the dream model. But what I think they are, or what I would put my money on, what they remind me of, is a behelit from Berserk. And maybe it does mean something, but everybody knows there's a lot of Berserk references and inspirations in all these games. But I never realized, so I pulled up a wiki definition of a behelit from Berserk, and if you haven't at least seen the Golden Egg trilogy for Berserk, I highly recommend it. But the definition of a behelit, and well, first off, the translation, the literal translation, means drops of primed water leading to another world. Well, that's another way they're referenced in the Japanese literal translation of another word that means the same as behelit. It's drops of primed water leading to another world. And it's described as a highly spiritual stone object that acts as a key that links a deep layer of the astral world to the physical world. And it's a huge part of the story and the lore of Berserk. And I've never realized, I guess, how similar it is to kind of the eyes on the inside transcendence that this game talks about. And they basically look like eggs with eyes and a mouth. And that's the first time I ever saw these eyes. I clipped in and saw these eyes. That's what it made me think of. So whether there's something to that or not, don't know. But that's my thoughts on the eyes. I don't like I don't like any kind of theory about the doll being, I don't know, evil or somehow like having a nefarious plot of her own. I think for the same reason that I just want to like Maria, I want to not hate the dream. So I want to not feel like everyone is evil and out to get me in Bloodborne. I like my hub world to be somewhat peaceful. So I think I'm going to. At first I kind of was leaning towards that theory of like the doll's bad. She's sided with, Moon Presence or whatever it might be, and she's evil too. But I don't think that anymore. I think she's just a servant, maybe a servant of Moon Presence still, but an unwilling and maybe even ignorant servant that truly cares about you. So I'm cool with her. She's my people. All right, I've got the cords, but I'm not gonna eat them or consume them or whatever it is you do to them, because I want to go get my platinum.
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream? Oh, it doesn't matter. It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes.
His cloak gets like way more red when he goes into fight mode, I feel like.
Tonight, Gammon joins the hunt.
I wanted to test if lead elixirs worked with bosses. I've never tested that before. It seems like not quite. At least not the same. the Moon Presence started out as a completely different looking creature that was much more timid and intelligent, and has been corrupted by its lust for
And so,
beast blood that's grown
the hunt begins
increasingly
again.
over time. Number 1. Ding. Nice. That feels good. All the time in Bloodborne. Well worth it. I've loved every minute of it. It's a freaking amazing game, and I plan on playing it for a long time to come. So, this is not the last time that I will upload Bloodborne videos, but it'll probably be a long time from now before I decide to do it again. So, in the meantime, I'll catch you guys on other games. Thanks to everyone who watched any of my Bloodborne videos. I very much appreciate you, all the comments and everything. It was fun to go on the journey with you and be introduced to what is now, in my tops, tied with my favorite games of all time. So, see you guys later.